To Squawk on the Street, we turn back to Iran's attack on Israel over the weekend and concerns about rising geopolitical risks. Our next guest has spent extensive time in the Middle East working on policy and Israeli-Palestinian peace initiatives. Let's bring in former ambassador to Morocco, Marc Ginsberg, also a former White House Mideast advisor, currently president of Coalition for a Safer Web, a nonprofit that fights cyber terrorism and extremist incitement. Mr. Ambassador, good to have you with us. We understand Netanyahu likely meeting with his war cabinet today. What do you think they should be recommending to him?
I don't think they should be recommending a retaliation directly against Iran. I'm not an armchair general, but I'll play one for the time being. The problem is that the attack doesn't solve the fundamental problem that Israel faces from Iran's terror proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthi rebels. The attack by Iran doesn't change that equation. Israel still faces that problem. I would recommend that Israel focus its attention against Hezbollah. After all, it is the major threat to Israel at this point in time other than Iran. And the United States could likely support a more concerted Israeli attack against Hezbollah because, after all, that is what the United States is there to do, support Israel and give it that ironclad guarantee, which Biden has taken off the table with respect to any retaliation against Iran.
So you think Hezbollah, and how does that, what would the reaction be? Describe what the dynamic would like between proxies and the direct relationship.
Well, given the fact that Iran fired its best shot against Israel the other night, there is very little that, in my judgment, Iran would be able to do to come to Hezbollah's rescue. Look, there's no doubt that Israel is caught in a quandary between the domestic extremist side of its government and the Israeli public. And yet at the same time, Carl, you know and I know that for almost 2 decades, there's been a shadow war waging against Iran by Israel. Assassinations, attacks on Iran's nuclear installations, and Israel has an enormous number of agents inside Iran. So we likely will see an acceleration of targeted attacks against senior Iranian officials, which the Israelis will deny.
You don't see Iran launching from its soil 350 drones, ballistic missiles, and cruise missiles as an act of war they need to respond to?
Sarah, I couldn't agree more that this was an unprecedented attack. The first time that Iran directly attacked Israel. At the same time, while Israel has the capacity to hit back, I think the Netanyahu government does not probably want to lose the international support that it gained. After all, Israel diplomatically was in the hole quite a bit over the last few months over its humanitarian failures in Gaza. And yet, at the same time, you have a divided cabinet, a war cabinet, where Benny Gantz and the defense minister are pushing the government not to directly retaliate at this point in time and not to cause an expanded war, which the Biden administration has said it would not support. And Israel needs American support in the event of an expanded war. Israel would not have been able to intercept all of these missiles without American and allied support.